WV The Torch presents the Mountaineers Coach's Corner, the show with the inside info on Mountaineers athletics. Hear all about the players, the plays, and the Mountaineers' winning ways straight from the coach's mouth. The Mountaineers Coach's Corner is an exclusive presentation of WV The Torch and the John Fredericks Media Network. It's time for the show. Let's go!
Well, it's that time again for Coach's Corner for the West Virginia Mountaineer Network and the West Virginia University baseball team. Got a prediction. They're going to Omaha. You know, a couple years ago, they knocked on the door. Last year, they pounded on it. This year, they're going to knock it down. They're going to Omaha. This is probably one of the best teams they have ever had, if not the best going into this season. What better time to have Coach Steve Sabins on, who's going to run this thing. And it's going to be a great season. Love playing in the Big 12, and he's got a lot of things going on. Can you believe we're only a couple of months away from the first game, the non-conference games that West Virginia University baseball has? And, of course, the segment of the Coach's Corner with Steve Sabins. This is brought to you by Vision Homes and my good friend, Rocky Simmons. Did you know that for over 30 years, Rocky Simmons and his family at Vision Homes has built hundreds and hundreds of custom homes right here in Morgantown and the surrounding areas? I need to get me one there. Now, their expert team, guess what they're going to do? They're going to design it. They're going to build a brand new custom home that fits your needs, that fits your style, and that fits your budget. Wow, unbelievable. Now, best of all, here's what they do. They lock your price in before they build. You see it, you sign it, that's the price. They lock it in. So you stay on budget, guaranteed. Now, here's the other thing. Well, John, I don't have any land. Rocky can help you with that. He does that too. Vision Homes, turnkey, they do it all. That's a family company, right? His kids are there. Mom is there. And if anything goes down, if you're unhappy with anything, you just walk in there. You ask for Mom. You ask for Mama Simmons. She got to straighten it out. She's still running that place. She's a beast. So you got to do that. So whether you're a first-time home buyer, you're looking to upgrade and build your dream home, or you're looking to downsize and simplify your living space, you got to go to Rocky Simmons and Ask Vision Homes. Just go to Ask Vision Homes. Invest just 1 hour with them. They're going to walk you through their easy, step-by-step home building process and answer any questions you may have. Just go to askvisionhomes.com, askvisionhomes.com, and see how simple it is to build a house that you'll be proud to call home. We thank Rocky Simmons and Vision Homes and Mama Rocky. Okay, let's get to. I'm on my mobile media bus in Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, Steve Sabins knows a little bit about cold in Morgantown. So, Steve, here we are in December, and you got a week or so before Christmas vacation. So, what do you got your team doing now? I remember when Joe was there, they'd be throwing snowballs and stuff. What do you guys got your team doing out there in freezing Morgantown?
Well, right now we just finished the fall. So we went through a week of strength and conditioning. We call it the Mountaineer Challenge. So I'm sure Joe told you a little bit about that. All sorts of different obstacles. We were doing testing when it came to force plate testing and jumps and speed work and sprints and weight room. Maxwell Melessa, he's a returning player, sophomore this year. He was named the Iron Mountaineer yesterday at our Christmas party. And that's a big honor. We put that guy up in the facility, and he represents everything that we're about: hard work, resiliency, getting better, stronger, faster. It's not given to the guy that's got the best batting average or the best ERA for the year. It's strictly on what we think this place needs to represent. So we just finished with that. Before that, we were doing some scrimmaging, but this week's a little bit lighter. They don't actually let us get our hands on the kids. It's the week before finals. So we have optional training going on in the new lab and at the IPF, which is an indoor football practice facility. But guys are basically getting ready. We sent a message today. We have 34 days until the first team practice. And if you show up to that first team practice and you're out of shape and not ready to work, you're going to get ran over. And so you might have aspirations of being the dude for West Virginia, but essentially you got 34 days until you can start proving it for that 2026 season. So that's where we're at. A lot of freedom on the kids' hands. Hopefully we instilled the habits and the work ethic and the things that you need to be great to handle your business on your own. But we got some limitations per the NCAA, what we can do this time of year.
I remember my son Joe, who's in Maryland now, telling me that, yeah, Coach Saban said these practices are optional, and he also said playing time's optional too. So I guess you got to figure out what you're going to do, but you got to follow the rules. And so, look, your team. This is always tough on a baseball coach because you got this time off during the holidays, and you go home, you eat mama's cookies and cheesecake or whatever you do. You come back a little bit out of shape, like you said. You're gonna be run over, Steve.
Yep, and we made a joke of it even before Thanksgiving. Essentially, like what you do, all those decisions that you make, they end up stacking up. We had a big picture of a pumpkin roll on the projector screen, and just say you can't turn it into a pumpkin roll over Thanksgiving because I got to make those decisions too, so I can fit into a uniform in the season and not have to wear a pullover all year.
Well, you got to do, yeah. I mean, you got to just get in shape and take this seriously, especially when you've got a Power Four program that's been to the Super Regionals 2 years straight, favored to go back a third time. You guys got a hell of a shot to win that Big 12 conference and do a little better in the conference tournament, and then get to Omaha. I mean, that's got to be the goal, isn't it, Steve? Omaha.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt, it's always the goal. Every year you set up, we don't talk about it a ton. It always comes down to the processes and doing it day in and day out and taking care of business. But we got a really special group of kids. Nowadays, it feels like damn near half the roster every year in some way, shape, or form turns over. So with transfers coming in, with how competitive the rosters are, and with professional baseball and graduation. And so it's always a lot of work early on, just starting culturally, trying to set the tone of what this place is going to be. And so you get kids from all over. And the bottom line is that it doesn't matter where you're playing. If you're in Division I athlete, you're motivated, you're passionate, you want to be the best, you want to play professional baseball. It's just understanding what that takes and if they're willing to do it day in and day out. And I really think the kids did an incredible job this year. And as you start seeing all these basketball coaches and football coaches talking about distractions and NIL and things that can pull things apart, we haven't ever gotten bitter or down. The kids are the same kids. They want to be held accountable. They want to work. They want to get better. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And so it's really our job as adults to try to create an environment where kids are recognized for doing all the right stuff. And so that's what we went to work with every day. And I think before, when I remember 2018, 2019, having conversations about what we needed to do to be our best version. And we had a young kid that ended up playing pro ball, but he raised his hands in theater and he said, his name was Brandon White. He said, "Do you really think that we could play in a regional?" I was like, damn right. That's why I moved across the country. Yeah, I think we can play in a regional. But the belief of what you can do is so powerful. And so now with back-to-back regionals and back-to-back super regionals, I think we've gotten a lot closer to everybody understanding what's possible here. And so the belief part is more taken care of. Now it comes down to execution and performance and getting better and doing what you really need to do to put yourself in that situation. And it's super competitive. It's probably just like finances and just like politics, everything's margins are so thin. And so you're always trying to find one little way to get better or one way to have an advantage. And so we try to instill that in our kids too. Just everybody's working hard. Everybody's doing the bare minimum. You have to do something kind of above and what's more than asked of you. So hopefully we're there, right? Because it can come across as coach speak a little bit, but that ain't coach speak. Like that's real if you want to be the best. And so we're chasing it. The kids are working their asses off. So I've been really, really excited about the staff and about the players.
You're on WV Sports Nation Coach's Corner. We're with head baseball coach Steve Sabins with us. And for all your sports information, all of it, there's only one site to go to, and that's WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. Bookmark it, sign up for our daily newsletter alerts. It's all free, and we're going to give the best coverage, not only of baseball, football, basketball, but the Olympic sports as well, whether it's track and field, Tim Flynn, wrestling, rifling, swimming, rowing. We covered all volleyball with Jen. We covered all. Just go to WVSportsNation.com, WVSportsNation.com. Steve Sabins with us. Coach, you had to make some tough decisions as you got into winter. You cut some players. It's always hard. And, the big thing is when you cut a sophomore or you cut a freshman, and you cut them in the fall, you give them an opportunity. They can't sign with another D1, D2 school. They can go play for a junior college and keep that year of eligibility. So you don't want to rob them of that. Sometimes you keep a player and you think you're doing the right thing, right? But then they don't get the PT. They wasted a season, wasted a year of eligibility. Does that thinking go in to who you keep and who you cut?
Yeah, this year was different. This was actually the first year in a decade we haven't had to do that. We had what's called designated athletes, and so basically they got earmarked or tagged as somebody that wouldn't count against your roster for the spring. So we were in this weird situation where we didn't have to make any of those decisions, but you still have to have just conversations with every kid. And you're exactly right. I think some people in general, human nature is to avoid conflict, and we're all in coaching to see kids get better and to develop and maximize their opportunities and try to figure out life. And so in general, you always lean towards, if you can keep a guy longer, you're going to get through to him. You're going to get him to perform. The coach's mindset is always, you're going to have the breakthrough. You're going to figure it out with the dude. But this year we didn't have to have any of those conversations. We just had to have the reality of, this is where you're at. So essentially like depth chart conversations. So you're the third shortstop. You're the 16th best pitcher. You're the this. You don't have to agree with me, but that's how we see you today. So you got two options. You come back after the Christmas break and you're bigger, faster, stronger. You throw more strikes. You hit the ball harder. You're more badass, and you unequivocally stamp your name. And I'm like, dang, you guy he's got to make the travel roster. He's got to be in the lineup. Or if you think getting more innings and playing time with a better situation maximizes your ability to get better and then continue to chase your dreams of pro ball, that might be the best opportunity for you. It's obviously personal in those moments, but it is difficult to get better without pitching or hitting. So sometimes there's kids, and I'm sure it happens more commonly 5 years ago at a place like Alabama football, right? Where you have these 5-star recruits that are third on the depth chart and don't ever play, and they might miss out on their NFL opportunity because they just ain't getting in the game. And football is even more, metric oriented. How fast are you? How strong, big, how hard you can hit. In baseball, there's like D2 guys that should probably be high-end draft picks, and they need to come to a West Virginia to be seen. But then there's guys at West Virginia that might be third on the depth chart that need to go play for 2 years to get the reps in order to actually develop into the star. So there's no perfect science to it. My job is clearly to get as many high-end talented players in here to then compete for jobs and to try to give people opportunities to their best ability to win those jobs. And so as long as you have the conversations with players, it's been really successful here. And I don't want to paint the picture like it's always rosy or always will be rosy, but we had 2 kids that chose to go into the transfer portal this winter, and they're still working out in the weight room. They're still throwing pins or hitting. So it's not one of those things. I think before, 10 years ago, if someone were to leave the program or if you had that tough conversation, it would be like a real slam the door relationship over, that guy screwed me. I think that was more common in just college sports in general. And now it's like, coach, I think I need to go to a junior college. Do you mind if I still throw a bullpen during the winter until classes are over? And you're never going to close the door on somebody. And so that's been an evolution. Even for me, it's obviously different, right? Like it's a weird kind of scenario, but the kids came to school here. They trusted you. They want what's best for their career. It's a new age in that sense. It feels like.
Well, listen, I think you nailed it, and I think you're right, because when you look at these tough conversations, if you have a junior that's not going to play, I mean, he's just going to lose a year, but then he can't go to a junior college, so they're just screwed, right? It is what it is. But if you have a sophomore, that's really the key, because if they're not going to likely to make the travel roster, which is, locked in at 34. And if they're not going to get a lot of innings in the non-conference games or a lot of at-bats or playing time, you could, especially this season, you had so many people grandfathers in, you didn't have to cut anybody, but giving the kids an option and say, look, I don't want to cost you a year of eligibility because you're just not going to probably see that much playing time. It's kind of the way it is now. Maybe it'll change. Got to take that shot.
Yep.
But, meantime, if you give them that option, then they can still go to a junior college, get the reps, get the innings, get whatever they need, go to a JUCO and not lose the year of eligibility. That's really what the key element is. So honesty is the best policy, even if it hurts.
Yeah, sometimes, it's no crystal ball. And that's where sometimes you'll have, kids will talk and you really do your best job to try to convey where they're at. But you also don't want to limit someone's possibility of doing great things and improving. So it's like, it's definitely both sides pulling at you because you're going, this is where you stack up now, but God damn, I would love if you proved me wrong. I would love to see that. And that's what great stories are built on. That's what, there's guys that stick around that get better. There's guys that leave and come back. There's all sorts of stories, but yeah, deep down, we're all underdog rooters, and you want the Rudy guy to show up here and refuse to leave and prove you're wrong and all those kind of things. So it is a new day and age. It's I think it's been good. I think it's actually been really good, the flexibility provided to the kids for the most part. You hear a lot of old heads complaining about it, but there needs to be some, guys got to go pursue what they want to do. They have to be able to go pursue it.
So let me ask you a tough question. You got to navigate your way through as a head baseball coach. You have a player on the team, a freshman, Whammer, who's Coach Mazey's son, not a pitcher. He's a position player. But look, I mean, he's Randy Mazey's son. Randy loves his son. He's a consultant for the team. And, he wants to make the travel roster. He wants to play, but he's got to perform like everybody else. That's a tough one to navigate your way through, Steve. How do you do that?
You just got to treat guys 100% the same. So it's not not the same. You got to treat everybody fairly. So you treat them with respect and you treat them fairly, but at the end of the day, the whole thing is based on performance. The whole thing is based on value. If that slips whatsoever, you just lose credibility of what you're doing. And so Randy didn't have his son commit to West Virginia because he was confused on how I was wired. You know what I mean? Like, he knows what we did together for 10 years, and Whammer is not confused because he was at every practice. And hell, that guy was in every coach's meeting and post-game, coach's locker room talk. And when coaches are talking about winning and players and how we can do, it could seem impersonal because all of a sudden you're talking about wins and losses and what's best for the team. So I think Whammer's probably more prepared than anybody of just what this really is and what this nature is. So he's not confused at all. So he had an incredible fall. One of the best young defenders that we have on the team. He made a big change about 3/4 of the way through the fall semester, started hitting right-handed only. So for the head coach's son to make an adjustment to go from switch hitting to right-handed only, it was like, all right, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to work. I'm putting my career in your hands, coaches and Sabes. And so that was a pretty big deal because obviously Randy's had an incredible impact on helping that guy become who he is and the player that he is. But honestly, it hasn't been any navigation. It's been a breath of fresh air. And Whammer's been in a tough spot too sometimes because I think naturally you come in here and you're the coach's son. What do people want to say off Jump Street right off the bat, right? We know what that looks like. Like, we know what that snickering behind closed doors could be. So Whammer has to show up every day in practice and be the hardest working. He's got to shut his mouth. He's got to get to work. He's got to outwork everybody. He's got to earn everything, or it's always going to go back to Randy's kid, right? And so that part has been a challenge for him, but everybody's got their challenges. Everyone's got their thing. And so it's been it's been good and certainly character building for the kid.
Let's talk about your upcoming team. We got a couple more minutes. Very intriguing. Got a lot of transfers in. You got a lot of good kids returning. Your vision of your two top hitters this season. Things don't always work out, right? Although I did last year predict that your shortstop would be your leading hitter, and I was right up until the final 2 weeks. So other than that, I was right? But I'll do that a little bit later on. Who do you see potentially this year, your two big hitters?
Gavin Kelly just came on the scene so strong as a freshman last year. He's a pure hitter. He's got work to do. He's got to get bigger and stronger. We're gonna catch him and also play him in the infield. So for him to last 56 games, which he didn't have to do during the regular season last year, he's got some adjustments to make. But man, he can flat out hit. He can just hit. He can hit with 2 strikes. He doesn't swing at balls. He's aggressive to strikes. So that guy's going to be hard to keep down. He's one of the most versatile sophomores in the nation. We brought in 2 transfers, and then Armani Guzman's the fastest player in the country. So it's hard to hold that down too. Armani Guzman is just hard to hold down because his swing has gotten so much better and he's really becoming a hitter, but he doesn't always have to hit to be successful. He can put the ball in play and bunt. The 2 guys I'll give you the four to start from. You can work off of that for your final preseason picks once we get to that show. But Matthew Graveline from Ohio State is a catcher that led that team in RBI and home runs, and then he led our team this fall in hitting. He's a senior. And Sean Smith is a senior for Georgia Southern, who's a career 360 hitter, and this is his 5th year of college baseball. So he's played 2 junior college and 2 Division I seasons. So just one of those guys that you're jealous of, rolls out of bed and just hits. He's on the barrel. He doesn't need to warm up. He doesn't need to take BP. He just finds the barrel. So I think those 4 guys really give us a great chance of being a leading pure hitter. And Brody Kresser, your pick from last year, he's back stronger, might be better than ever. So he needs to be in that conversation too.
He was right there. He was a leading hitter on your team right up to the final 2 weeks. I used to have you on and say, hey, I said who was going to be your best hitter came from nowhere. I'm a genius. And then he slacked off just a little bit after he got hurt. And but he's going to be back. He's going to be back. He's going to make me right this time. But I'm going to hold my picks a while till I see a little bit more. We'll see what happens. Okay, 2 best pitchers not named Chase Meyer.
Okay, I knew. I mean, you're going Chase Meyer. You're a Chase Meyer diehard.
Oh yeah, I'm a Chase Meyer guy.
Chase Myers, he's definitely the man. We were laughing because we had this Mountaineer Challenge. So as a coach, you're always worried about putting players in situations that they could get injured. So doing anything, right? You can't bubble wrap the guys, but you're running 60s, you're running sprints, doing obstacle courses. We had a skills competition in basketball, and I was like, you know what? We can't play basketball. That would be asinine. But we could shoot free throws, and we could run the court and do a layup. And so Chase Meyer actually just recently had a very, very small finger break because he was going up to dunk, and his finger hit the rim. So not even part of the challenge, but it said 2 weeks, really minimal. In the old days, they would have called it a finger jam, and he'd probably get back to work kind of thing. So he'll be fine. But yeah, super high hopes for Chase Meyer. Awesome fall, worked his butt off, got better. Max,
he's going to be your Friday night starter, right? No question.
Oh, there's always a question. You got to earn that. He's got to come back.
Oh, come on. He's going to be a Friday night starter. But look, remember last year I said he would have the most wins, and you looked at me like, what? He's not even starting. And I was right about that. He had the most wins on your team. So I was right about that.
Nine wins.
Yeah, 9 wins coming out of the bullpen. So I was 1 out of 2. I was 50% last year, and both were underdog picks. Like they weren't like on paper the best pick. Now, other 2 good pitchers that you see other than Chase.
Yeah, I think our staff is really deep. I think one that just has maybe some of the highest upside out of anybody on the team is a kid named Max Yale, who was hurt last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big lefty, and was hurt and actually turned down the draft while he was hurt. So talented that pro teams wanted to draft him without playing the season. And so he's back healthy, throwing bullpens. His stuff's electric. He's got leadership skills. He really wants to be great. So he's somebody that for our team to be the best, he needs to be really good, but he has all the makeup and all the stuff needed to do that. So super excited about him. God, you're forcing me for another pick, and there's a bunch of good ones, but Chance and Cole, Dawson Montesa, Ian Korn, Bryson Thacker. This Cole kid was really interesting. Chance and Cole's a Division II player that came here, and he's a true sophomore, and he's throwing 89 miles an hour pretty much consistently, up to 92, but plus changeup. One of those guys that can throw a changeup at any count, at any time for a strike, and it's kind of a devastating pitch. So one of those guys where I think people might take him a little bit less serious than they need to, and he has a lot of success. Last one, Dawson Montesa. He's a transfer with a big-time arm, 94, 96, plus stuff in the zone. Kind of a Chase Meyer-esque kind of dude. And so I feel like I'm leaving out. I hate talking. I feel like I'm leaving out some stars.
Oh, you can put in what you can say whatever names you want.
Yeah, Reese Batson, Carson Estridge, they're returning studs on super regional teams. How could you possibly leave them out? And Ian Korn was a Division II pitcher of the year that transferred here, that decided to come here. And so those guys are good. I think we'll have some options for piecing this thing together the right way.
You see Max coming out of the pen?
God, the only reason you would say that is because he hasn't started in his career. But it's the same thing with Chase Meyer. Like the pen is great if you scatter the ball a little bit and your stuff is so good that everyone swings and misses at it. So by the time you're in the third inning, you're at 60 pitches. So it's not like it's stuff. Right. It's just like if no one ever hits it and you're not in the zone all the time, your pitch count's too high. So I don't want to start you because you can't go 7. So it really will just come down to, can you get through 7 innings without being at 200 pitches and your arm falling off? That's it. Both of like those guys can be elite starters, but you can't be an elite starter if no one ever puts your ball in play and you don't throw enough strikes. So both of them need to make that jump in order to be bona fide big time starters. Where a guy like last year, like who has better stuff, Chase? I would tell Jack Cartsonis this to his face. Like, who's got better stuff, Chase Meyer or Jack Cartsonis? It's without a doubt Chase Meyer, but Cartsonis throws a ground ball within 2 pitches to every hitter, and all of a sudden you look up, it's the 7th inning. Right? Those are the guys that can last a long time in the game. Right. So we are our best version with the Chase and Yell are starters, and they pound the zone. So hopefully that's how it shakes out.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to give you my sneak pick there, but before we get into it, where I think it's going to be the shocker this season, and that's Carson Estridge. I just got a feeling he is going. He's always been there. He's always been there, like right there. Yep. And you're always looking for the right there to go to that next dominant level. We've seen times where Estridge has been lights out. We saw that in North Carolina 2 seasons ago in the Super Regionals. We've seen it in other times. He's got the stuff. I think he's going to be the shock of this staff. I just got a really good feeling that this is going to be the season for him. Everybody's going to be like, whoa. And I think he's going to go in the draft as a graduating senior.
I have a request for this show now, because you're big time. You're representing presidents. You're on the road. You're all across the country. I think whenever we have these conversations, we need to have some sort of tracking device that shows like early sleeper pick Carson Estridge. So every time we talk, it flashes on the screen. And
we're going to do that.
Your production team knows where we stand.
Because last time, just so everybody knows, we did this. I got to say it again, we said, who's going to have the most wins, and you had pick, and I'm like Chase Meyer, and Sabins is like, what?
We need your team to have odds on the top picks, the most win. We need odds on pitcher of the year, position player of the year. Yeah, we're
gonna have to do that. We have
3
to
to
do
2
that.
odds, minus 180s on guys, plus 240s on sleeper picks. Yep.
We're gonna have to do that. Put it on FanDuel.
Yes.
You guys can get a percentage. Speaking of percentages, you got to raise money, right? You got to have NIL money. You got to compete. I mean, you're competing in a Big 12. You're competing with every Power 4 college in the country. Now, you've got your leadoff baseball dinner coming up. That's a huge deal. Saturday, was it January 24th?
Yep.
Saturday. Tell us about the leadoff dinner. I'm going to be there. Ann's going to be there. We got 2 tables. All our friends are going to be there. We can't wait to go. Tell us about how much fun that is and how people can get involved, buy a ticket, and share in the excitement.
It's going to be an awesome night, and it's been a great event for a long time. This event's been going on for over 12 years, and it's grown and it's grown and it's grown. And last year we changed the location to Milan Park because we needed more seating. We had over 800 people there last year, VIP tables. There was a cigar roller. There was bourbon tasting. This year, I've been told there's going to be a commemorative bottle from last year's season by Swill Dog. So a baseball select bourbon is going to be available for everybody, which is pretty cool. We'll have speakers. We're going to talk about last year's team and the success. We're going to line up for this year, make sure that every player on the teams introduces themselves, and so fans can get an idea a little bit more about the team. Players are going to sit around the stands. I'll talk about the staff and the vision a little bit. And we actually have retired Navy SEAL Jason Redman, who's going to speak at this event. So
great friend of mine from Virginia Beach.
Is he?
Great guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know Jason very, very well.
Well, we were
great
supposed
guy.
to meet. Yeah, we're supposed to meet today at 11:30, but Jason had to rearrange the meeting for 3 p.m. today because he had an emergency meeting at the Pentagon. So I said, I guess our banquet meeting could wait a little bit, and I had to be at the Pentagon at 4, so it worked out well. But we were laughing about that as a staff because we haven't had a lot of meetings get postponed because of the Pentagon around here. But it should be an incredible event. It's ran by Golden Blue Enterprises, which is the fundraising wing specifically for third-party NIL. And so we have companies that are buying tables to essentially help with third-party NIL. So they're doing some deals to make sure that our team's taken care of, and everything that is raised by this banquet is going directly to the kids. And in baseball, this is still a sport where guys ain't driving around Ferraris and building houses in Morgantown. They're trying to pay for their classes. There maybe, if they're lucky, they set aside a savings account for a little bit so they're not in debt when they get out of here. So I think it's a cause that people can get behind in a program that's certainly elevated over the course of the last 10 years. So we're pumped about it. You can buy tickets at wvsports.com/leadoff. Let me make sure I got this right. wvsports.com/leadoff dinner. wvsports.com/leadoff dinner. You can buy single seats. You can buy tables, VIP tables. If you're John, you can get double VIP table. You can do whatever you need to do.
We got 2 VIP tables coming. Ann and I are going to be there. You want to check this out, just go to, what is it again, Steve?
wvsports.com/leadoff dinner.
wvsports.com/leadoff dinner. You can get your tickets there. It's going to be Saturday night, January 24th at Milan Park. It's going to be so much fun. We went the past 2 seasons. Now, are you going to make the players wear a jacket and a tie or some other kind of outfit?
I haven't gone down that scheduling yet.
I vote jacket and tie.
You like jacket tie?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I vote for that.
There's people, I'm not great at getting passionate. People talking about themes and
get a jacket
to wear, and I'm like,
man,
I'm just not the guy to talk to.
See them. It's the only time you get to see them dressed up.
Yeah,
right.
I'm with you. I'm in.
Jacket and tie, baby. Let's go.
I would just love to not have an opinion on it, but I feel like I have people want the opinion on that from me. So let's unofficially decide on this show that we'll go jacket and tie.
I love the jacket and tie idea. Okay, so you got to go to wvsports.com/leadoff dinner. Get your tickets there. Don't be shy. wvsports.com/leadoff dinner. Ann and I are going to be there. Pasqua's going to be there. All our friends are going to be there. We're going to have so much fun. Rocky's coming. It's one of a blast.
Oh, yeah, Rocky will be there.
Oh, Rocky's got like 5 tables or something. Rocky's buying a place out. Vision Homes. Steve Sabins, I want to thank you for being with us. My sleeper pick of the year for staff. Carson Estridge. We're going to put it on screen, but I'll have other picks going forward. But I just want to give a little teaser as we go forward. A little teaser. Now, of course, Chase Meyer is going to be a Friday night starter, and he's probably going to lead the Big 12, go in the first round. But we'll leave that for later. I'll give you my teaser, Carson Estridge. Coach, thank you for being with us.
Yep. Thanks, John. Have a great day.
All right. You have a super day. We will see you soon. That's it for this edition of Coach's Corner. For WV Sports, go to WVSportsNation.com, WVSportsNation.com.
You've been listening to the Mountaineers Coach's Corner, an exclusive presentation of WV The Torch. Hit WVSportsNation.com for complete coverage of the Mountaineers sports universe. Thanks for listening. West Virginia Sports Nation gives you a top-of-the-mountain view of the Mountaineers sports landscape. See what's happening in all the sports, far beyond football, basketball, and baseball. Gymnastics, track and field, rowing, swimming and diving, golf, volleyball, tennis. More sports, more stories. If the Mountaineers play the game, WVSportsNation.com has it covered. Up-to-date and insightful articles written by Mountaineers for Mountaineers Nation. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com.